Hey everyone, what's going on? Arsenal are through to the next round of the Carabao Cup, entering the quarterfinals with Calum Chambers scoring 10 seconds after coming off the bench, which was incredible to watch. But was it a convincing win? Was it a convincing performance? Or did we just get lucky like Eddie Nketiah's goal today? Whether we got lucky or not, Arsenal are through to the next round, and that's what matters. But more importantly, we're 8 matches unbeaten, kept 5 clean sheets so far in all competitions, and safely through to the League Cup quarterfinals. And we march on to the next match. But before I go ahead and get with this match reaction, I just want to go ahead and run back that intro real quick. So there you have it, guys. Today's performance: Arsenal 2, Leeds 0, and Bielsa's side goes crumbling under pressure yet again. Week after week, they're really struggling, and it looks like Leeds in the league itself are very close to that relegation zone. Looks like Arsenal are trying to keep that momentum and keep the pace, but more importantly, the intensity is what matters, and we really need to focus on the league games as they're coming thick and fast, and we don't have necessarily easy fixtures. Other than Watford at home, we have some tough fixtures upcoming, and we really need to bring our best efforts onto the pitch, not just the talking on paper in terms of the lineup, but putting that into practice on the pitch. And, a clean sheet for Leno today. Leno made some really good saves in the first half against the volley from Harrison. Which we could have been 1-0 down if it wasn't for Leno making that crucial save. And I think he did have a commanding performance today. He made some really good saves, which I'll give him credit when and where it's due. But you clearly see the difference between Leno and a player like Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Aaron Ramsdale has really good ball distribution and also commands his box. The simple things that a goalkeeper like Mendy does, a world-class goalkeeper, command your box and communicate with the players in front of you. And today I didn't really see much of that from Leno. However, when the ball was fizzed at Leno, he made a couple of strong saves that kept us in the go. And Leeds in that first half, they did have chances as well. It's not to say they didn't take their chances. It's just that we made some really good saves to keep us in the game and to keep us in the lead. The minute Chambers came off the bench, 10 seconds through, first touch on goal, incredible goal from him. I was actually reluctant when Chambers was coming on as a substitute. I actually thought maybe we could have given players like Smith Rowe a rest and started Chambers instead. Considering we have Leicester away, it really felt like maybe Smith Rowe should have been given a rest. But fair play. Today, Smith Rowe felt like he was hindered. It felt like he had a lot to do in terms of the lack of running in behind. And too often, the front three today were disconnected and asking for the ball to his feet. He felt really limited, and that's how it came across, especially in that first half. He did improve later on, but today's credit goes to Ben White and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. Ben White, I hope his injury is not too serious. But one thing I will say, and as I mentioned to you guys in that Aston Villa performance at the weekend, actually on Friday, was Ben White looks really calm and collected, ease on the ball, on and off the ball, moments where he was carrying the ball through and he cut into spaces that, although there was no pockets to feed through, he was making those spaces and making those clear-cut chances to us. And really great ball distribution and a great drawer on the ball. His ball carrying ability was incredible and unrivaled. And I really hope his injury isn't serious, because he is a player that is key to our season and that we rely on, along with the likes of Partey and Gabriel being fit. Our season really relies on them not being injured. Now, I don't know if you guys heard earlier today, AFCON is postponed at the moment. Whether AFCON is canceled or not, if it is canceled, it's better news for us, as players like Partey and Aubameyang, we would be able to keep them and hopefully keep them injury-free. Unlucky with Arsenal. Arsenal and injuries go hand in hand. Unfortunately, it seems like it got the best of us at the start of the season when we lost 3 games back-to-back. But that's not to say other clubs don't face injuries as well. Today, Eddie Nketiah was average but really poor in that first half. He showed some improvement in terms of really good on presses and being persistent. but he was really poor from Leeds' backline to let that goal through. And Eddie, I feel like he just got lucky. I don't even think he thought that was going to go in, and he nearly missed it, if I'm being honest. Overall, Ainsley was the best player on the pitch today, other than Ben White. Before he was subbed off, Ainsley was really energetic and lively in the game. He really brought that transition into the game and showed some clever reading of the game through trying to make chances and trying to break up moves, but also trying to create some as well down that midfield line. El Neni, as we already know, he can't seem to pass forward. It's really struggling and really hard to watch El Neni on the ball. Thank God these players do not play in the Premier League minutes like last season. Thank God we fixed that, and we're giving players like Sambi Lukonga and Nuno Tavares a chance on the game. And El Neni made a couple of interceptions today in the first half, but it felt like the midfield was left for him to handle alone. Of course, I've seen a lot worse of El Neni today and Kolasinac. They weren't awful, but they weren't great for me to give them a 6 or above rating. I think they're more of a 5. El Neni improved his game later on in that second half, but again, not really much for me to say about him, rather than I'm seeing a lot of similarities from last season with, not being able to press forward, not being able to pass the ball forward. It just felt like a liability. And again, as I said earlier, thank God we don't see these players play in the league games. Hope you're all well. Thank you so much, Reese. Hope you're well. And big up 1-1. Hope you're well. Big up Mr. Heedy. Shout out to everyone tuned in. If you guys haven't already, do make sure to leave a like on this video and kindly subscribe if you're new to my channel. If you're watching on Periscope or on Twitch, do make sure to hop over to YouTube, Miss Melina on YouTube, and do make sure to give it a subscribe. But also do make sure to keep your notifications on, as I will be doing an FPL Game Week 10 advice video tomorrow, which will be out for you guys to do your team selections and hopefully get a lot more advice, especially on those striker replacements for a player like Vardy, who's set to be injured and ruled out. Today, Gabriel Martinelli, a lot of people called out for this player to be starting today, and it just looked like he came out short tonight. He wanted to make an impact, and today's game, I just felt like it was a negative impact on the game. It felt like he was left to make decisions on his own, and distances were too long for him. His efforts came up short, and when he wanted to work play alongside Eddie Nketiah, he failed to mark his territory, and he didn't really get the impact we wanted to see from him tonight. I don't know if it's because he's not getting much game time in the Premier League, as we already know. But it just felt like he wasn't the Martinelli that we're used to seeing, firing those goals and really up par with his game. Today, I thought Rob Holding had a decent game before he hobbled off. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, I'll give credit to when and where it's due, but my man of the match would be to Ben White before he was subbed off. I think Ben White was incredible in showing that consistency as a center back. And one thing I will say is I hope to God we recall Saliba in January, because I think Ben White and Saliba can coexist together, and having two great center backs in a team alongside each other will be just great for us and enhance our squad dynamic overall, which is something we crucially need, especially against teams that like to press us and play high line intensity football, like your Chelseas or like your Man Cities. Today was a solid performance tonight, and overall, we made it through into the next round of the quarterfinals. A good win, a convincing one, but it just felt like Leeds were way too poor, really, really weak and struggling defensively on and off the ball. And, their mistakes ended up costing them the game and out of this competition. But hopefully we take up this intensity and momentum going on to play Leicester away. Again, Leicester is not going to be an easy fixture. Considering Vardy's injured, I'm not sure if he's going to play at the weekend, but it looked like Daka will come in as the replacement. And with Tielemans and Madison getting their shooting boots on, it's not going to be an easy fixture for us. They do have home advantage. Hopefully, Arteta keeps the same lineup as Aston Villa, and we'll see that consistency in the squad there. But every player on that pitch on the weekend needs to give it their 110%. And the one thing I will say with Arteta today, I like the way he was commanding for cohesion in that first half. In that first half, we really didn't have uniform or cohesion from the midfield to the defense. And it was good to see a manager like Arteta shouting at the players to be more cohesive and come together as a collective unit from that midfield to the defense, which is what we need to see from a manager. We need to see those kind of directions from a manager in charge. Now, all eyes should be on that Leicester game. Hopefully we get the 3 points, as we desperately need it. If we don't win, I'll take the draw. But more importantly, I need to see a very good performance against Leicester. That's a big test for us and a big test for Arteta as well. Whether he stays on the job or not is a different question and story entirely. But we need to give it everything we got, and there's no more excuses whatsoever. The games are coming thick and fast, and we really need to take our chances when we can. Big up Chris, hope you're well, and big up FPL Fledging, hope you're well. Big up Rodney, hope you're well. Leicester boy, you're saying this after 8 straight wins without a loss. Yeah, I'm not convinced of Leicester. Like I said earlier, we're 8 matches unbeaten, and we've kept 5 clean sheets overall. We're through to the next round of the Carabao Cup, which I'm not fussed about, and I'm happy for. But Leicester isn't going to be an easy fixture. We shouldn't underestimate them. And like I said earlier, hopefully we carry on this momentum and pace going on to play a team like them. They're really good on the counterattack and pressing, and hopefully we can keep up to par with that. The one thing I'll say about Arsenal that I noticed in the Brighton game and in the Crystal Palace game is when we go 1-0 up, I've said this before in my previous match reactions, when we tend to go 1-0 up, either it's first or we're conceded and we've got another goal on top, we tend to sit back and invite pressure on us. And today in that first half of the Leeds game, it felt like we were inviting pressure on us and not creating enough chances. Although Leeds were creating chances and not able to finish them off, Leno made some really good saves today. So I will give Leno credit when and where it's due. But that's all I have for my match reaction today. Arsenal 2-0 against Leeds, with Calum Chambers scoring 10 seconds after coming off the bench as a super sub. Incredible finish from him. And Eddie Nketiah getting lucky on goal, which felt like a fluke goal, but it is what it is. Any hole is a goal. And come on, you Gunners. More importantly, that Leicester game, I really need to see 3 points on the table to us. And we really need to prove how we are as a team, as a cohesive unit. But thank you all for watching. Hope you're all well. Nihal's asking me if Vardy is fit without Ben White, looks a little leaky. Yeah, that's the thing. If Ben White's injury is serious and we're going to miss him for 2 to 3 weeks, without Ben White as our center back and with no Saliba, as you all know, Saliba bossed it against PSG, Di Maria, Mbappe, and Neymar and kept a clean sheet. Shout out to William Saliba, who's starting week in and week out for Marseille and showing incredible performances, but also showing a lot of desire and fight in him. And hopefully in January, we recall him. As I said earlier in this match reaction, it clearly shows that we can coexist 2 good center backs, Ben White and William Saliba. Leicester till I die TB, Chris says, will be a tough game, to be fair. Sooner I played you at the start of the season. Yeah, and you guys are also in form too, so I shouldn't really take you guys as a joke anymore. Daka is playing really well for you guys. Anthony says, hi, Miss Melina, was a good game. Glad we're in the next round. Yeah, thank God we're in the next round. MA says, White came off because he felt sick, says Arteta. Okay, hopefully it's not something serious, and that he'll be okay for the Leicester game, as we really need him as our center back. Mario says, if we win against Leicester, are you Arteta in? To be honest, I was giving him till December, as most of our fan base was, to be honest. And if he's giving me convincing performances, I do give him credit when and where it's due. I'm a lot more balanced and neutral. If I criticize him, of course I don't abuse him, but I know when and where to do that, and I know when to give him his flowers or to give him credit when and where it's due. I do not take credit away from him. White and Mari caught the same bug. Oh, okay. So I know Pablo Mari did not play today because it was a non-COVID-related sickness, so that makes sense. Hopefully they're okay. And Odegaard is out with an injury, along with Kieran Tierney. I don't think we're going to see Tierney at the weekend, which explains the lineup today. And missing Odegaard might be a problem, but I think we'll still do well without him. The one thing I will say about Odegaard that I haven't seen yet from him is in games that like to play high line intensity football, it just seems like Odegaard isn't the man for the job. And it seems like he can't hold up to par with that pressure or with that high line press. It just seems like he falls apart and buckles under pressure, but it's kind of too early in the season, so to say. Hopefully, I can see improvements from him. I'm not saying he's a bad player or a bad signing. It's just I want to see better from him in teams that like to press us and play on that counter attack. I want to see more from what Odegaard has to offer. It feels like he drops too deep on the ball. Like MAA says, I agree 100%, and he goes off position. Southie, big up yourself. Hope you're keeping well. And I did mention at the start of this video, 10 seconds in, Calum Chambers comes on. I was actually reluctant on him coming on off the bench, as I've seen him from previous seasons, and he wasn't really the greatest player for us, if I'm being honest, which explains why he doesn't get minutes in the Premier League. Alongside the likes of El Neni, we all know how that went last season. Fledging says, hoping for a Ramsdale clean sheet in FPL. Ramsdale clean sheet against Leicester might be a big ask. But we all can dream and we all can have hope. I really hope we just turn up against Leicester. I don't want us to take 8 steps forward, keep 8 consecutive matches unbeaten, and then drop behind and back and drop points with Man United level on points as us. Hopefully they get a draw or a loss against Spurs. They're in a really far worse situation than us. And with their whole manager situation and players not wanting to play for Ole, it just feels like Ole has lost a dressing room. At least with Arteta, our players, for the most part, still want to play under this manager, and he is bringing in the results and bringing in that consistency and momentum that we lacked in the first 3 games of the season, especially. Again, we got really unlucky with injuries and COVID to begin the season with. Unlike other clubs, we started the season off with COVID and a lot of injuries to begin with Partey and Gabriel not being there to start the first 3 games. It was woeful for us, but hopefully we can turn that around. But as I said earlier, Leicester, the fixture itself is going to be a big test on Arteta. Whether we can do the job or not, we will know on Saturday. I will be back Saturday evening or Sunday morning for the match reaction right away for the game. Big up the Asian sensation. Hope you're well. I agree. Leicester can prove to be a hard game, and they're really good on pressing and counterattack, something that I'm concerned about. I'm not as confident as I was for a team like Aston Villa. Leicester are a lot better position and form, especially with their key players, Yuri Tillemans and James Maddison and Daka are all doing well. Vardy's injury update, I do not have a clue yet, but I know tomorrow they have a cup game, so hopefully we get some updates from there. And then I will be doing my FPL Game Week 10 advice video, so you guys can choose your key players and choose your Vardy replacements along with your replacements for players like Rafinha if he's ruled out injured. Hey Macy, hope you're keeping well. Great win for England, and most importantly, very great watch along that you did earlier. I really enjoyed watching it, and keep up the great work on your channel as well. But that's all for me today. I hope you all enjoyed this match reaction. If you haven't already, do make sure to like this video. Please give subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and follow me on Twitter at MissMelina7 for all Arsenal news, all FPL news, and just to chat in general if you want. But take care, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and come on, you Gunners. Adios.